My name's Dave Fitzhugh. I'm the Director of Contract Strategy and Dispute Solutions for Western Partitions Incorporated. We're a drywall contractor, second largest in the United States. We do work in about 11 states. We do revenue north of 600 million a year. Prior to using Superlegal, everything went out to outside counsel, and that cost was hitting us on every contract. So regardless of the project size, we're getting anywhere from an $800 to $2,000 bill to review contracts with suggested edits. We found that the outside legal had varying concerns, varying experience levels, inconsistent edits and suggestions. So we're pretty scattered. We're spending a lot of money. And it really wasn't working well for us to kind of have a cost sensitive and tightly controlled edit process, and focusing on the things that really matter to us. We'll see probably 300 to 400 subcontractor agreements heading our way every year. So we have quite a bit of workload, and we appreciate what Superlegal does to help make us much more efficient in managing that workload. We're just using our subcontracts that are issued to us from general contractors. So we're just staying in that lane right there with Superlegal, and tailoring the playbooks to respond to those in the various states that we work in. I think it really quickly points out clauses that are inherently unfair or outside the legal norm. So we see such a variety in subcontracts coming to us. So the language is wildly different depending on the region or the general contractor, whoever we're working for. So this kind of levels out a lot of those differences and helps us flag, okay, this is really kind of outside the norm. Here's a suggested edit that'll address that. And then that gives us a good starting platform to send that edit up and then kind of work through with that project team that we're working for and find a resolution. So we have a certain subset where the edits go through, they're accepted, and we just move on very quickly. Some people are very protective of their contract language and don't want to see downstream folks editing it. But I'm never concerned with the edits that Superlegal puts in after I've reviewed them. We've looked at other applications, but the biggest benefit I saw with Superlegal was the fact that you could put in the red lines. You had legal status in Utah. You have folks that actually look at what the AI produces and get that second look at it. Now, again, every AI product needs to have eyes on it. I view Superlegal as the first review of the contract, but I would say it probably cuts my review time in half. With Superlegal versus our money being spent outside, we're probably spending 1/10 of the cost that we did with outside legal. No one will ever describe us overhead people as a profit center, but when you can show year-over-year savings that significant and expedite the work product, it is favorably looked upon by senior leadership. I would say that within 24 hours, I'd say 85 to 90% of the contracts are turned around in 24 hours. There'll be a small percentage, either errors on the document I uploaded or some delay could happen, but I've never waited more than 2 days for a contract review ever. And I cannot say the same thing of outside legal counsel. There's a window to negotiate these agreements, and the longer you wait to come back with suggested edits, the closer you are to the start date of the project, and the less patience our customer has with us to entertain those edits or those negotiations. So time is of the essence. We get that document reviewed, we get it back in front of the customer with our suggested edits, and before we have the scheduled time crunch, we're actually having conversations and trying to make the agreement a lot better for us. So that time window is precious, and Superlegal helps us maintain that. Onboarding was very smooth. I think 3 or 4 days to provide previously edited contracts to kind of educate Superlegal on what we're looking for, and it was up and running. And then we've adjusted and course corrected as we move forward. But it is very smooth. It is very easy to pick up. I'm not the most fluent software individual out there, and I'm able to use it fairly easily, and it meets my needs tremendously. Well, first and foremost, being a subcontractor, I'd recommend to any subcontractor that has to deal with just a high volume of contracts coming through, Superlegal will make you much more efficient and consistent. Having to look at 3 or 4 contracts in a day, having kind of the same language and edits, it just makes the day much smoother, a lot less choppy, much more coherent and consistent. I would say within a week, I was using it like I'd been doing it for months.